Hello and welcome to my channel Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Ayrshire on the west coast of Scotland. Today I'm going to take you along as I try and organise a space to keep all my sock whips. When I recorded my last video, my craft room tour, it became quite apparent to me that I have a lot of sock whips, so I thought I would try and get them all into the one space and help organise them a wee bit better and make me more motivated to work my way through them. I think when they're hidden about all over the craft room, I tend to forget that they're there. So I thought if I got them all in the one place, it would make me more inspired to work on them. Okay, so this cupboard here, this first cupboard here, I showed you this one in my craft room tour, and it's a bit of a mishmash of items in here. So I think what I'm going to do is empty everything out and try and get the sock whips all in the one place. And I'm going to take you with me today. Okay, here we go. So I think if I clear this out and gather all my sock whips up together, get them all in the one place, that would be a good starting point. Okay, there are a couple of blanket projects in here, and there's maybe some books that I've got I could put somewhere else, and there are quite a few sock whips in here as well. I have one more blanket project that I would like to put in here, so I might even try putting blankets down one side and sock whips down the other. So let's start clearing it out. This is a blanket project. It's the triangulum blanket pattern. I'll give you a quick look at it. A lovely hexagon shaped blanket pattern, and I think I've got about 7 months done in that. I was working in month 8, but it's just in hibernation for a wee while. Give me a bit of a break, change of scenery. What do we have in here? This one is the safe space blanket, so you can hear all the stitch markers jingling. And I have 6 months done in this project. This is a double knit and weight blanket, so it knits up quite quickly. I should look this one out again soon and work on it. Oh, a photo album, photos of my grandkids, and lick of needles. They can go in the drawer that I've got in my island. I could put them in with my other needles. And this wee storage pouch here, this is a pouch by Black Pearl Magic. And I've only got one set of lickers in there. It's an acrylic see-through pouch. I do love it, and I should get more needles into it. A Liberty peacock. This was actually from the Liberty sewing book, this peacock, and it's Liberty fabric that I used to make it. I did make a blue version, but I sent that off in a swap to a sewing friend in Australia. But I do like my peacock. And a little pouch. This is actually an Anila Hoey pouch, and I didn't make it. It's an Anila Hoey pattern using Anila Hoey fabrics, and it was Anila Hoey that made it herself. I bought it when she was having a de-stash. I've actually got a sock pattern in here. I was knitting mini socks, and I do have a nail file as well in the front, in the wee front pouch. And this shelf here, the bottom one, is a crochet cardigan that I was working on. I think it's still attached, so I need to be careful. And here we go. I was currently working on the button bands, and again it's in a bit of hibernation stage just now. But this is using an advent calendar, this one. Another thing, I should get back to it. Now what I wanted to do was these baskets here. I do have 3 of these, and I thought if I could fit them in just a doeket like that. So I'm going to put a couple of shelves, maybe one in each side, just to give me some more shelving space in here. So I think if I move the bottom one up one, bear with me. Right, would that fit? Yes. And then we'll move this one up too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, that's okay there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. I think I'll be able to get 3 of my blanket projects on these shelves now. So I'll leave you just now. But this one here, that's the wrong pattern on there. I'm going to put my safe space blanket, I'll put that in the middle. No, I'll put you right up the top. And then this pink one, the triangulum blanket. I will pop links below to all the patterns that I talk about today, so you can go find the actual pattern and find out more about the designer as well. This one, I think I'm going to move this blanket here. I started working on a blanket using some leftovers, and it's kind of outgrown this small cardboard basket. So I think what I'll do is I'll move it all into here. It's just some little mini skeins in here. So I've got a few, they're all kind of peachy and orangey colours, those ones. I've still got the tag Lay Family Yarns. And I've got one little leftover from grey, that's from the December palette pack, and then I've got a tiny wee bit of pink. I'll keep that in case it comes in useful. But I am moving on to all the orangey colours now and the rainbow, and that was the March colourways. I've also got a wee plastic sewing needle just in the bottom of the box, and that was just to help me if I had any ends to weave in. It would help me with that. Or even just transferring, if I got so far with one of my blanket strips and I wasn't sure if I was finished, I wanted to start the next strip, I can put them onto scrap yarn, and the wee sewing needle comes in handy for that. This is the northeasterly blanket, and I'm just using some leftovers for this. I think it's outgrown that small box it was in. When I leave this on the needles for any length of time, I tend to finish halfway through a row. Just so, because the blanket pattern does actually point up the way, it just lets half of it sit that way and half sit that way, rather than trying to force them straight across and distort my stitches. So I think that'll be happy living in a bigger box. And I've got the yellows to move on to next, because that blanket is going to grow a wee bit more as well. Right, that's quite good. I'll put one of these new ones in now. Right, let me see how this would look if I put it in the same spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think on this bottom shelf I'm going to keep my crochet cardigan in there. So what I have here on the bottom, I had just some notes that I've been writing up, and then this is the Simply Crochet magazine that the cardigan pattern is in. Pop them down the bottom, and then this is all the yarn in here. Can I open it without it all falling out? There you go. That's all the yarn in there. Put that underneath. And then this is the cardigan. So if I fold that up, maybe fold it a little bit neater. So it's not just thrown in a heap. And it's still attached to the cone of yarn that I was using. As well as using the advent calendar, I am using a self-coloured grey yarn. It's by King Cole, and I think it's an anti-tickle merino blend, but it is 4-ply in weight. So I'll pop those in here as well. Just wind this back up. And I've also got my crochet hook, which is a 4mm, and I've still got my wee test swatch as well. I'm just going to put those back in so I know where they are. I've just popped the crochet hook inside the cone, and then that way I'll know where it is. Right, that's that side done. I'm quite happy with what is in there. I'll not put this blanket pattern back in. It's actually a different blanket pattern. It's the Knitted Patchwork Recipe. It's one of these Cozy Memory blankets, and this is actually a free pattern on Ravelry. Right, have we got any more blanket whips? I think this is the only other blanket whip here, this side here. The blanket pattern I just told you about, it's a little Cozy Memories. I did start this, I wasn't sure what to do with it. It was just one of these, it was like an itch I wanted to scratch. I saw everybody else doing it in social media and I wanted to try one too. And hiding under that little tub, I have these log cabin blocks. So I've got two pink ones. I've got two kind of turquoisey green. And these were a collaboration with Nora George Yarns and other various yarn dyers from the UK. And I've got another couple of bundles to use that I can put in with this blanket as well. I didn't use a pattern for this. I do have a log cabin blanket in Aran weight, and I just followed the instructions for that. But I would like to finish this one day. I'd like to finish everything one day. Right, let me see what is in here. Must keep knitting. I've got this wee tin here. It was my daughter-in-law that bought me this wee tin. It was full of shortbread. And I do love the wee tin. So, but I've just got some zips inside. I don't really know if that needs to live in that cupboard actually. This could go somewhere else. But I will put these back in. Let me just tidy this up a little bit. Right, log cabin blocks. The Patchwork Recipe blanket, I'll pop this back in just now. And I think I'll put it over that side maybe. And I can also pop this in as well. This is a blanket that I'm working on just now. It's called the Polygon blanket. These little half hexagons here, they've actually, once I've got all the blankets sewn together, you just fill in the space. Some of the wee gaps around the edge, you put a half hexagon in. It looks so pretty like that, doesn't it? So they're just waiting to be sewn in to this main blanket. Now that I'm finished working on all those hexagons and half hexagons and it's just the sewn up to do, that is what I'm using for that project here. All the leftovers are going into a northeasterly blanket. It's not going to be a big blanket, but I'm hoping it's big enough for my cat. She'll appreciate it. Right, this can pop in here. There we go, and I can see that and I know where it is. So this shelf up here, this is all socks. Oh, I'll bring this one down. Could I move that up one as well? Yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure how to organise all my sock projects. I'm wondering if I could do it different weights of yarn on different shelves, because I know this here is all 6-ply yarn. That's 6-ply as well, and here it's just leftovers. Bits and bobs of... So if I could use all of this up, maybe that way would be better. If I could get this all used up, it's Regia 6-ply and it's the college colourways, and I think these colours are all discontinued now. But if I could use up all these wee like cakes, wee bits of cakes that I've got, I don't think I would get a full pair of socks, but I could maybe do the 2 feet from this and then do the 2 legs from something else. This one has already been started and I have the heel done as well. That is it's the Fish Lips Kiss heel I've done on this one, and then I've just popped it onto 2 stitch holders. I'll probably use the needles for something else. And then this other wee basket here is just another, it's a bit like yarn vomit, isn't it? Just more leftovers from the college colourways. That one actually looks like almost a full skein. I would get a pair of socks from that one. And I really should use these up, because I know somebody that would appreciate some more hand knitted socks. My husband's socks are all getting a bit threadbare on the bottom. Right, I think I'm going to put those ones back in there, but I think what I'll do is I'll move that shelf up. That one should be okay. I think what I'll do is I'll put all these 6-ply socks up in that top shelf, because this is all the 6-ply yarn that I have. So that'll all be together. Fit that way better. And then you can go next to it. And you go on top. This case here is the sew together bag. And I think I've just got some embroidery stuff in here. It's all the threads and the needles, some metallic thread from making this little needle case. This is canvas work, and I did get the pattern out of a book and I made it for a competition, and I've never actually used it, but it is so pretty, and the colours are just me as well, the pinks and the greens, and lots of gold sparkle in there too. But I really should clean that out and put the thread somewhere else, shouldn't I? A bag that I made myself, and all that's inside it, 2 DPN cases that match the bag, and the Fish Lips Kiss Heel pattern is in here as well. The last thing that was up on that top shelf there is some cotton yarn. Now this is it's Katona cotton, and I've got 3 balls of the pink, and I did have 3 balls of blue, but I knitted some socks. I wanted some little almost bed socks for myself. Do you know when over the warmer months especially, and you want to wear sandals but maybe your feet aren't they're not sandal ready, and you spend a wee bit of time and you moisturise your feet before you go to bed, and you maybe put some wee cotton socks on? That's what these are for. So when I went to my bed and I'd moisturised my feet, trying to get them ready for the summer months, the warmer weather, I had some wee cotton socks to wear. And you know the thing that put me off doing these? I knitted these socks and then I based it on my Forget Me Not shawl pattern, and I was going to release it as a pattern, but then I saw someone else had a very similar one and it had a picot edge as well, and it put me off releasing it. But I don't think it's not the same, and it's something I would like to get back to, because I've never finished the socks. I put them on hold while I decided what to do. So this was the first version of that sock that I knitted, and this was a traditional heel flap and gusset in this one, but it doesn't give you enough stretch to get it over your foot and up round your heel and round your ankle. There's just not enough give on the traditional heel flap and gusset with a cotton yarn, because there's no stretch. There's not a lot of stretch to it. So I had to rethink it, and I put in the German short row heel instead. So I think I'll pop these to the side just now. I'm not sure what shelf to put these on. Right, more sock projects. This isn't a sock project. This is crochet. This is who makes this pot? Wedgwood. It's a Wedgwood plant pot that I found in a charity shop. I should maybe get my crochet out and put a plant in it. It's a yarn from a Toft advent calendar that I haven't finished yet. That can go somewhere else. Oh, this one here. Let me just bring all this over here. So there's a wee bit of a story with this one. This was a sock that I knitted more than 4 years ago. It had a little love heart design on it, and it was based on my Sweetheart Charlotte pattern, and I don't think it worked very well in the sock. Do you know what? I'm actually really liking it looking at it just now. It looks more like zigzags than love hearts. It was supposed to be for Valentine's Day. And I don't know if it was the pattern itself and the yarn was competing too much with one another, but you couldn't really see what the effect that I was going for. I knitted that sock, wasn't happy with it. Tried a different pattern with bigger love hearts. Let me see if I can hold this up and show you. And I really like this one. But I don't think, again, it didn't go with the yarn. It's a beautiful yarn, it just doesn't work well for the patterns that I'm using it for. It's by Bird Street Yarns. I think they're now called Mr. Bees. And then I've got another sock. I've knitted 3 socks out of that 100 gram skein of hand dyed yarn, and I didn't like any of the 3 of them. A different love heart pattern again. And then I tried it on a plain yarn. The third pattern, I tried it on a plain yarn. I should put these on sock blockers so you can see them better, and the pattern shows up much better on here. But this is something that I've still to write the pattern up and release it. And then I think I decided to change the back of the sock. I wanted a different pattern on the back of the sock. And that's a wee swatchy what I would like to do in the back of the sock. So it's something different on the back from to the front of the sock. And this is me, I think this is me, the 3rd skein of yarn that I bought. And I think I was finally getting there. So it's a tonal yarn, you can see the love hearts on it. And I'll put something different on the back of the sock pattern as well. But this has been lying for quite some time waiting to be knitted. And I've made a big mess here. Trying to show you this. Bird Street yarn, but I think they're now called Mr. Bees for the original colourway. And then the paler pink one is West Green Loft. That's lovely as well. They're all really nice. I just wasn't using them to the best way they could be used. This little bag here is a bag pattern that, it's just a design that I come up with myself. Because I like vinyl and I like see-through bags, I thought, let's make this here. So you can see what's in your bag, what's in your knitting bag. So it's just the bottom that is vinyl, and it's got the wee handle on it as well, and it also has a wee pocket in the inside, and that's what this one here is too. So you can see in, I should actually put that up as a tutorial at some point, shouldn't I? Show you how to do it yourself. I think that needs to go back in there. This is actually a sock design that I would like to work on, but so is the cotton one as well. This little bag here is another Anila Hoey pattern, but I did make this one myself. And it's actually really handy because it zips up, so it's a wee bag. But when you unzip it, it actually turns into a wee tray, which is really handy for putting your knitting projects in, or your crochet. And this sock was a Paris theme sock, that's why it's in the Paris themed bag. Another design that I need to get back to. I'd forgotten all about that one almost. And I wonder if you can see this. Okay, this is my swatch. It was going to have a big Eiffel Tower on the front of the leg. Up and Away the yarn's called, and it's by Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit, and I don't think they're dying anymore. Right, more sock projects. 2 more down the bottom. This was more bed socks that I was working on, and it's Debbie Bliss Cashmerino, and these are lovely and soft. They wouldn't wear very well if I was to wear the socks just wandering about the house or underneath shoes, because there's no nylon in it, but they are really comfy and really soft. And all I need to do is fold over this little edge here, fold it over, stitch it down and give myself a little picot edge around the top. That's all I have to do in both of these. And I even got elasticated thread in case I wanted to do it with elastic, so they were more stretchy rather than the sock yarn, sorry, the Cashmerino yarn. And these are living in another little bag, a smaller version of those, the pink one and the grey one. So I can see what's inside, and they're still sitting in there. And this one here, again, another wee bag that I made myself. This was a wee bit of an experiment. This is Woolcraft Superwash sock yarn, and I'm actually knitting this sock on a small circular needle, the 9-inch circular, and I'm not going to lie, I don't think I like it. I think my tension is a wee bit tight. It's a large size sock, it's supposed to be for my husband, and I think it's quite small. I think it's a medium size sock. I think my tension's a wee bit tighter on the circulars. In all honesty, I might just frog this and just use it as an experiment and just frog it. Take my tension from it so I know how tight my tension is using those small circulars, and just frog this, I think. I've actually found more and more as well over the past year or two that rather than using a bag, I do prefer a wee box, whether it's a wee cardboard box or just a little plastic box for storing stuff in, like these ones here. I just find them easier to transport about the house and have my knitting sitting in a shelf or in a drawer, and I can grab the basket rather than a knitting bag. I find it easier to get all the stuff back in as well, or even just knit from the little basket, or the little box is easier. The next thing I have to do is take all of this out. These knitting books and these notepads, because they can't stay in there, so I think I'm going to take those out, okay? I have rearranged the positioning of some of these shelves here, and I've looked out a lot of my sock whips and I've popped them on the table here. And I'm now at that stage in a project where you think, why did I start doing this? I'm really starting to wish I'd just left it the way it was. And I really just want to run out the room and shut the door. But hey ho, let's go on. We can sort this. It always gets worse before it gets better, doesn't it? Right, I've got a big pile of socks here on this table, and they are all socks. They're all sock whips. So I think the easiest thing to do, right, look at the sock whips that are finished. The whips that are finished, these ones just need to be photographed. I'm not putting these back in my cupboard because they have been blocked, the ends have been woven in, and they've been sat in that cupboard waiting to be photographed. I'm not putting those ones back in. I'm going to leave the ones that just need a picture out of the cupboard. I also have this yarn here, and I've got another couple of little mini skeins that can go with this. I am supposed to be using the leftovers from the first pair to knit a pair of socks for my daughter. This is a Halloween yarn by Snuggly Stars. Snuggly Stars yarn. And it was called Zombie Unicorn. I love those finished socks, and I just need to get a photograph of them, and I'm going to enjoy knitting another pair. I think the next pair will have longer legs. And the other two little mini skeins are here as well, so I can get a nice long cuffs on them if I need to, and use as much pink as I can in her leg. So I'm putting those all together, and they can go in here. They can stay in there. These ones here are finished. This is one of the Regia Perfect socks. It's an Arne and Carlos colourway, and these are blocked. All I have to do is weave in the ends at the toe and at the heel. They're actually just off the blockers. I just took them off the blockers today. But these are going to my daughter. I'm not going to put them back in. I'm going to weave those ends in and get them photographed. I'm going to put them on that photo pile, okay? I've got this sock here. That's not actually a sock project. It was just using scraps of yarn that I had left over. They're all different drops yarns. And it was just to show construction, how a sock's constructed, the different sections of the sock. So I'm going to keep that, but I'm not throwing it out. I'm keeping it because I've got more tutorial videos to film. This is another 2 pairs of socks that have been finished, and they have been blocked as well, and I just have to weave in all the ends. This was a Christmas colourway, the Christmas Eve box from Beehive Yarns. And I knitted the granny square socks that a lot of people were knitting last year. I did enjoy knitting these, and as I say, they're blocked. I just need to weave in the ends. So I'm going to put them into a pile that's for weaving in ends. And with the leftovers, I made these ones. It was Crazy Sock Lady that inspired these. She was, at the time, she was doing stripy socks. And that was all I had left of the coloured stripes, and I just finished up the leg. So again, blocked, and they just need the ends woven in. This wee bundle here needs blocked. This is a West Yorkshire Spinners colourway, and this was my own design for making a kind of wavy pattern rather than it being zigzag. I know there's a lot of zigzag patterns out there for self-striping yarn, but I wanted it just to be slightly wavy. So these need blocked, and these are going to go to my daughter, so I'm going to put them in a blocking pile. Next up, and then these ones here are some Halloween socks. Now I did these with a large leg and a medium foot, and these ones are for me. These 4 socks here all need blocked. These ones here are all my own sock designs, and they are a double knitting sock, knitted from the toe up to the cuff. You could reverse it if you wanted, but they've all got a different stitch pattern, they've all got a different texture to them. So this was the green apple, this one was pink bubble gum, this is blue raspberry, this, it looks tiny, that one, doesn't it, but it will stretch out. This one is lemon sherbet, and there is another 2 socks in this collection that I've still to knit. There's a grey one, and this is the bundle of blocked ones here. So I have this grey one still to knit the second sock of, that's black cherry, and this is unicorn tails, using a wee bit of all the leftovers for every other colour. So I need to get these ones blocked and sit them in with this bundle, and so they're finished. That's all finished socks, more for the blocking board, and this all goes with, all these wee bits of leftovers go with these socks here, but they will get used to knit the stripy one, the unicorn tails one. So they need blocked, and I also need to keep those because I need them for the unicorn tails. So I need to sit these somewhere. That's actually a whip, isn't it? Oh, I'm going to sit them in here just now. I know it doesn't look very neat and tidy, but it'll encourage me to do it. Get on with it. Tell you what, you're a sock design, you go up there. Okay, that can stay there. These ones are finished socks. These could go, I was going to put these in a Christmas box. West Yorkshire Spinners, and this is the Hollyberry with the cherry drop and the heel, toes and cuffs. But they can go into a Christmas box because these are finished. And this one here is, again, West Yorkshire Spinners, but this is a gingerbread colourway with one of their natural colours on the heel, toes and cuffs. And I can never remember whether it's marshmallow or milk bottle. I actually bought it and it wasn't on, it didn't have a ball band, it was some leftovers on eBay. And I can never remember myself what the colourway is. I think it might be milk bottle. But these are done. These have to go into the Christmas box as well, but I did want to do tutorials because they've got quite a nice twisted heel and they've got twists on the toes, and I think I'll try and get that done this year. Maybe I should sit that in with this then, just to remind me that it needs done. That will remind me I've got another tutorial to do. This one here is leftovers from the very first month of doing my triangulum blanket. It was another sock design that I wanted to publish. Just using, it was a scrappy sock, leftovers, and the pattern continued up into the cuff. The colours and the pattern is all competing. It's too much going on in the one sock. So that's something that needs to be redone in a neutral coloured yarn, something self-coloured, a tonal. I think I'm going to put that up here with these ones, because these are all the pink Love Heart versions of socks, and if I put that in with them, because I would like to work in that one next, I've actually put this one into the wee bunny basket, because I really would like to get this one done, the darker pink version, and I know what I want to do in the back as well. So sock designs, more sock designs, and this is just regular sock patterns. This one here, the gingerbread sock pattern, this was by Candy Shop Yarns, and I test knit this, but one of the problems I had was my colour work was too tight, so I do need to practice that. And I've got all the yarn here, so I think I'll pop that in with my whips. There we go. And this one here is the Zabava sock pattern, and this was quite an interesting construction. You knit the sole of the sock first, that's self-coloured, and then you come back and you do the top, and that's how you get stripes in the top but it's plain in the bottom. That's the pattern there, the Zabava sock pattern. And the yarn that I was using for this is all my own hand dye. It was over lockdown, I was experimenting with dyeing yarn. It's not something I ever wanted to pursue as a business or anything, but these are the colours that I used, that I dyed myself. So I'm going to pop that in the whip cupboard. I'm making a wee dent in this table. It's actually starting to look like, yep, you're on the right track here. Right, so maybe you could go there and we'll put you in here so I can see you. It's just if I can see them in the cupboard and they're not tucked away in the drawer, I'll be more inclined to work on them, won't I? The only other pair that I haven't, no, there's a couple here. These ones here, West Yorkshire Spinners, but this colourway is actually the Nutcracker yarn that was a 2023 colourway, and I knitted this pair on the wrong size needles. They were too small. I'm not sure if they would actually fit my daughter, because although we're both the same size feet, she's got slightly narrower feet than me, so maybe they would stretch a wee bit and fit her. I'll get her to try them on before I frog them, and she can tell me what she thinks. There's one hat line here that I need to block. And weave in some ends. Some more leftovers from doing the first round of my double knitting sock designs. I don't need these ones anymore, but I was just waiting to make sure I had enough of the second lot. So I'll maybe keep that in here as well. Tell you what, I'll put you right to the back. And then I know where they are if I need them. One more, yeah, I think we're getting there actually. This is a little pair of socks. They're tiny, aren't they? I started knitting these for my 4-year-old grandson. This cake is a mess. It was a cake of yarn that I bought to knit double knit and weight socks for my daughter-in-law. And this was the leftovers. It had a contrasting heel tone cuff. And this is the leftovers. The colourway is Far, Far Away. Oh, it does say on it, it's Biff Sugar Yarns and it's Far, Far Away. But I knitted these socks for my daughter-in-law and I didn't have much left over, and I had only a tiny wee bit of the blue, the dark blue. And I thought I could cast on the toes, do a toe-up sock, and Jaden could have these, and then they would match his mum's socks, wouldn't they? I thought that would be nice if they had matching coloured socks. But then I stopped knitting them because I think he might be allergic to animal fibres, and he's best sticking with acrylic, so these kind of get pulled off the needles, and then I haven't frogged them yet. Do you know what? I think I'm just going to finish them and I could hand them into charity. Right, decision made. And I've got the wee needles that I used as well here. I don't want everything just thrown in, I want it to look a wee bit tidier. And the only other socks that are on the table are these ones. These are a long-term project, these are a long-term whip. I'm not going to get these finished anytime soon. These are leftovers from the blanket that's right up here, the polygon blanket, and I was making scrappy socks. So that's the pink ones. These are blocked, they just need the ends woven in. And sorry, I should actually say these are the pink ones, but the toes, I ran out of colour, the pink, and I had to change to red. and I just picked whatever I thought would look good out of the red bundles. And then I did the red ones, and the last two colours on each are from orange. Those ones have been blocked as well, they just need the ends sewn in. And then I have the orange ones that then go into yellow as well, and yellow into green. These ones haven't been blocked, they've still got stitch markers in them as well, just row counters in them, round counters I should say. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to pop these all into the cupboard and just leave them in a bundle together. I'll try and work through them and get all the ends woven in, get them blocked, ends woven in, so that as I'm working through all the wee leftovers I've got at the end of the year, I can maybe give these out. So I think what I'll do is I'll put these down the bottom of my cupboard. But I'm going to put them all down here together. I'll show you, you maybe not be able to see that just now, but I'll give you a wee pan down later on. Right. And that is my table clear just now. Anything that's to go back in that cupboard. I've got a couple of wee mini socks. These were some leftovers that I had from sock yarns that I loved. This was a Maleficent colourway from No Makers. I don't think they dye anymore either, do they? And these two were both Harry Potter. No, it's not, it's actually Fantastic Beast colourway. This was the Niffler colourway, and this was the Okami colourway. These are both from Elm Tree Yarns, and again, I don't think she dyes anymore either, but I knitted things. It was a pair of socks for my daughter and a shawl for my daughter out of these. But I've got a new wee frame to hang over the other side of my room, and I think I'll get these finished off and hang them in the wee frame and just put a wee sign on saying in case of house elf emergency. But these were some of my favourite colours that were left as leftovers. Right, I think I've just about cleared this table, so I'm going to put these sock whips into one of these ducats down the bottom, and I will get to it and show you it. And I'm going to go, because I know I've got more sock whips in my living room. I've been to the living room and fetched my last couple of sock whips. These ones have actually just been finished. I just finished these last night, and they need blocked, and they just need, I think each one's got 4 ends to weave in, so that shouldn't take too long. These are actually my Blue Raspberry sock pattern. It's a double knit and weight pattern, and the texture that's on these I've put onto this as well. But this one is actually a kind of tweedy yarn. It's Shetland wool and tweed. These ones are going to my husband, and on the leg I had just knitted a tiny little cuff on them, and then I ran out of yarn. So one ball of yarn, and I got to about here. I had to buy a third ball of yarn because I only had bought 2, and I just bought a third ball of yarn to finish the 2 legs. They look really thin, the legs, don't they? But they are 1 by 1 rib, and they are really stretchy. So they'll be nice and cosy. So those ones are finished. And the only other sock whip that I have is this here. It's the Brew colourway from For the Love of Yarn, and I'm just knitting my Skish toe up pattern, and it's a broken rib that I've put into the instep just to add a wee bit of texture to it. And that is it. The only other sock whips I've got are a couple of Christmas socks, but I'm putting them well and truly in a back burner. It was West Yorkshire Spinner colourways, and I'm putting them away. I'm not trying to knit all the Christmas colours this year. I'll maybe leave it to the summer and try and work my way through some of this here. And the only other thing I've had lying about was this. I've got two of these wee tubs. They're little cake holders, little yarn cake holders. Nitty Natty, somebody was selling them during Nitty Natty's Sock Week last year, and I'd bought both of the colourways. So I've got my Brew colourway in here, and I've got the Amo Yarns colourway in here. It was the Scottish Yarn Festival. Now that's just a leftover. I think I'll just recake that back up and see if I can put it on a wee de-stash. Just get rid of it. Because I think there's about 30 grams still in there. 20 to 30 grams definitely. And that is it. That is me. I've sorted all my sock whips. I'm going to go get them all into the cupboard now, and I'll show you how it looks once I've tidied up all the cupboard, okay? It's done. I have all my sock whips in the one cupboard. Whew. That took me a lot longer than I was expecting it to take me, but here we go. It's a wee bit more cluttered and untidy than I would have liked, but they are all in the one place. So blankets all down this side, one crochet cardigan, and we have just some storage down the bottom, but I'll show you that in a wee second. And this is my 6-ply socks that I need to work on up here. This is sock designs of my own that I need to get done and finished, these 2 shelves here. And this here is just socks that I've either started and I need to finish, or that's the second socks that I need to start from that skein there, the Halloween ones. In here I've got my Henny Penny Makes Yarn, my double knitting socks that has come from scraps from a blanket. I would like to be working on them, so they're getting put in here where I can see them. And then the current sock project that I should be finishing just now, the Iron Brew socks. Down here we have socks that are all either waiting to be blocked, have the ends woven in, and some then they can get photographed. It's a wee bit more untidy looking than I was expecting it to be. But I can see all my sock projects now. I know they're all there. They're all in the one place. I've brought them from the living room. I've brought them from my little pink trolley. They're from my drawer. Some were underneath my table, and they're all in the one place now. So hopefully maybe another 6 months or so and this will be an empty shelving unit. We can live in hope, can't we? Thank you for joining me today while I sort out all my sock whips. It's been a bit of a journey today, but I think now that they're all in the one place I'll be able to work through them. So I will see you all again soon, and thanks for watching. Bye.